Well, the time is now 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Castater, please call the roll.
Yes, Mr. Krennic,
Here.
Mr. Gunther,
Present.
Mr. Beckman,
Present.
Mr. Young, and Mrs. Weber, obviously absent.
Yes. At this time, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Rice, would you like to review the agenda for this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Beckman. Pretty straightforward agenda this evening. We do have two presentations. After we get through our formalities, we have a slight change. It was advertised that we had the FCCLA here, but they are actually in Columbus competing. So we are honored to have the Good Morning Ross Middle School group here today, and they'll give us a short presentation and show us a video on some of their work. And we have our second presentation over Vista Consulting that we've been talking about for, I think, about 18 months for a phase 2 project today. So we'll have Pat here from Vista Consulting talk about school performance energy project. We'll have a report from Legislative Committee, opportunity for public comments. Under Superintendent's reports and recommendations, we have several items, including a big section for personnel. That includes employment, resignations, retirements, supplemental stipends, and then contract renewals for the majority of our staff. And then, if I get through these pages. And then we have item B under that same section, resolution for a reduction in force, and I'll talk through those as we get there. And then item C is overnight field trips. These are all summer trips, team building opportunities, and camps for our sports and athletic teams over this summer. Now I'll turn it over to Steve.
Yep. So 4 items tonight under Treasurer's reports and recommendations. Our standard monthly reports, our investment summary from Red Tree, as well as our financial snapshot for the month, showing where we are 9 months through this fiscal year 26, and then also our cash summary, which shows our fund balances across all of our funds. We also have a contract for a rooftop HVAC unit replacement at Elda, and then we are also tonight asking for approval on our 2026-27 school fees for next school year.
All right, thank you. I'll ask for a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call the roll, Mr. Castater?
Yes, Mr. Gunther,
Yes.
Mr. Krennic,
Yes.
Mr. Beckman.
Yes. Motion passes. At this time, we have the minutes from previous meeting. Have you both had a chance to review them?
Yep.
At this time, I will ask for a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Castater, please call the roll.
Yes, Mr. Krennic,
Here.
Mr. Gunther,
Yes.
Mr. Beckman.
Yes. All right, at this time, we will turn it over to the presentation segment.
Thank you. Under number 6 presentations, letter A, Ross Middle School Spotlight, we have Good Morning Ross Middle School Group. And to introduce the group is soon-to-be principal for the middle school, Mr. Jason Rettinger.
How we doing, everybody? So this is our Good Morning Ross Middle School. Some of our members, this group, they're going to be much too modest. And they come up, this group, this started 35 years ago. This is Vine, of course.
Of course,
Started in
yeah.
Columbus with FCCLA. Mr. Mills has now done it 25 years, Mr. Mills?
Wow.
Yes. I'll try to hide in the back, right, 25 years. So they put together a video of kind of a snapshot of over, we've got some pretty cool alumni from Good Morning Ross Middle School, and then the kids are going to kind of take you through the jobs and the roles and kind of what they do to put something.
Hello, school board. Here's some behind the scenes clips to show you what our Good Morning Ross Middle School looks like. Good Morning Ross Middle School is a weekly video program at Ross Middle School that started 35 years ago in 1991. The first Good Morning Ross Middle School crew consisted of 10 8th grade students. A fun fact, Beth Fernending, one of the original crew members, is actually the mother of one of our current anchors, Mia Bailey. GMRMS as we often call our show, provides students with the opportunity to explore careers related to broadcasting. We actually have several former Good Morning Ross Middle School members that are or have been in television or broadcasting, like Morgan Moore, or actor, producer, and writer Sarah Rebrovic Fletcher. Crew members in grades 6 through 8 hold jobs like videographers, reporters, producers, anchors, and editors. The entire crew meets on Thursdays after school to plan for the upcoming show. Members pitch story ideas for our weekly segments. One popular segment, for example, is Lost and Found. During these segments, the student body gets to take a look at items currently in the Lost and Found, hopefully encouraging them to look for their items that have been misplaced. Another popular segment that we have had since the early years of GMRMS is the Motto Lotto. The two students are chosen each week from the Tumbler for being a Regal Ram. They are awarded a gift card to Walmart. This is our studio. Our anchor desk is lit with studio lights, and our green screen allows our editors to put up lots of different backgrounds. Our student editor uses the video program WeVideo to add music, text, and to put all of our stories into one package, which is a lot easier than 35 years ago when you needed to take VHS tapes in and out of two machines. Our show is posted to YouTube weekly. We now have our shows from 2011 to present archived on YouTube. Unfortunately, our early shows are not available online, but when we moved our studio to this building, our VHS tapes were given to the class presidents of the year. They were in 8th grade.
You can see we have some famous alumni. They sold a little bit short there on the Lost and Found is our favorite part. I think Josie presented one time we found a pickle in a water bottle, which was a hot topic in the middle school for about a week. So, Mr. Mills, if you'd like to come up and kind of introduce the kids, and they're going to tell you a
I'm
bit more
going to
about
say this. I cannot believe that was the sweatshirt that you chose because that's the baseball team that both of my boys play for. So I can about guarantee it's one of my boys. Battlehawks. No, not at all. Not at all.
Good
I
evening,
can't
I'm
believe
Chris Mills. I've been with Good Morning Ross Middle School for 25 years. Tonight we brought a few of our members, most of them are in Columbus for the FCCLA competition. If you guys want to come up and, this here's Gabe, you want to come up and start us off? Thank you.
Okay. Hello, I am Gabriel Wilkinson. I am one of the interviewers for 7th grade.
Hello, my name is Haley Williamson, and I'm an 8th grade interviewer.
Hello, my name is Elena Barledge, and I am a 7th grade reporter.
Hi, my name is Reese Mayer, and I am a reporter for interviews in 6th grade.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Stidham, and I report Lost and Found.
Hi, my name is Josie Farley, and I report Lost and Found for 6th grade. The anchors in Good Morning Ross Middle School are the ones who organize and provide ideas for the show topics: Reagan Keller, Emily Likens, and Mia Bailey. They have a board with all of our plans and what segment everyone is on.
Our camera people include many of our students named Travis, Callan, Sam, and Abby. Occasionally, the camera people will switch with our people on camera, so each person can have at least 1 week on the camera. On debates, we have 2 weeks. We have A week, which is taken by Lola and Kennedy, and B week, which is taken by Abby solely.
Reagan does Motto Lotto, where she spins a tumbler full of RAM cards and announces 2 winners every week.
In current events, I usually talk about the Character Strong's Character Dare and what events are going on in the school. We do current events, which is reported by me. Lost and Found is reported by Kaylee and Josie.
For interviews, there are 2 groups that rotate from A and B week. For A week, there is Reese. For B week, it is me and Haley Williamson. And
for interviews, we find random kids across the school and teachers so we can interview them about their favorite topics.
In contests, we have two groups, A and B week. In A week, it is Reagan P. For B week, there is Johnny M. During contests, we do a bunch of games and activities between two people.
Our editors are Sean, and Mr. Mills keeps them looking nice. Good Morning RMS is a fun after-school curricular activity. The anchors, Mr. Mills and Mrs. Viney, do a great job of keeping us organized and updated.
Any questions on anything?
I think that I recognize that Tumblr from like 20-some years ago. Is it still the same one?
Same one, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And I was gonna say, so it was 35 years ago that was started.
1991, yeah.
I think, and if you guys are interested, I will have to try to dig it up, but I think I still have a video somewhere in our family of my older brother, who I think piloted the initial year.
Wow.
So I'll see if I can find that.
Nice. Yeah. that'd be really
It was cheesy. I mean, it was 35 years ago, so it was.
Still
but it
kinda
was-
is sometimes.
Yeah, it was, yeah, so they had fun with it, but.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's every week, about 3 to 5 minutes for the video. And then it goes online, so they can share it and watch it later on if they wanted to.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
that-
you.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Redmond.
That's cool.
All right.
Yep, under letter B, we have Vista Consulting here to talk through potential phase 2 for school energy performance project.
Good evening. Good to see you all again. Doug sends his apologies. He is in Florida. I believe it is taking his granddaughter to Disney World for the first time.
I'd rather be here.
Well, I know I would. The last time I took my grandkids there, I actually had a shirt made for all of the dads in the group that said, most expensive day ever in the Disney flock that they exploded. We had people stopping us all.
I had the same one, yeah.
All right, so most of you have seen this presentation, so we'll go through it quickly, but I want to make sure that everybody understood what we were doing, and if you had any questions, you have the opportunity to ask those. So for kind of some background information, this is phase 2 project for you with us on doing House Bill 264 energy saving project. The first project has done very well from savings, and we'll show that here in a minute. Key concept here is to remember that the savings that we create by the energy conservation measures we take will pay for this program over the period of time. So there's no capital out of pocket for the district. It's a way to get some work done and preserve your capital for the other things impacting education. So I'm going to talk a little bit about phase 1, which I just did, and then we'll talk about the current project, what we're doing in that, and then talk about the steps, so where we're heading here. So this was phase 1, where we did a bunch of HVAC upgrades, central control, automation upgrade, some computer and servers, lighting upgrades in all the buildings, windows at the old building over there, replacing the boiler and steam traps there. That building had a lot of opportunity for savings, just how old it was, and to get that, brought that back up to current standards so that it could be used and be efficient. Bathroom upgrades, added AC, and repair unit vents. Total cost of that project was just shy of $2 million with a 10-year payback. And you'll see over here on the right, the blue bar going up. If I mispronounce this color, somebody tell me I'm colorblind.
Spot on.
But the left hand, the blue one, shows what you were spending in energy. The line on the right, which I think is red, is what you spent after the project. So the green would then be the savings. Okay, and then the blue line across is the guarantee that we have. So you'll notice every year we've been beating the guarantee. So and as we move forward, that will continue. This is a chart that we like to show, just kind of give a representation of how this works. The blue box shows where your energy costs would have been. And I think we all know energy costs have been going up significantly in recent years. the blue box just takes into account what NYMEX says energy was going to be. The green shows where you are after the project, so those are the energy savings. Now you notice we do have a yellow line there, which was our original projection. And I'll tell you that we tend to be conservative in how we put these projects together. We'd much rather be here and tell you that we're over driving savings rather than saying we have to write you a check, obviously. So we were conservative on it, so we have nothing that's guaranteed yet. So phase 2 here are the things we're going to be doing. First of all, the field lighting system at the high school football track. We're replacing the current incandescent with LEDs, the best technology. It's actually going to increase light level on the field considerably, so it's going to give you a home field advantage there. And reduce, I mean, if you look at that, 44% increase in light, get 50% reduction in consumption. That's pretty good. We're replacing the scoreboard. My understanding is that is really starting to have some issues. Parts are becoming hard to find, so we're going to an LED video board there, which will really kind of highlight the field, the games there. The street sign will be a new LED marquee out there. The VFDs on the air handlers here at the high school, there are actually 7, or I think 10 actually, there are 10 VFDs. Those are variable speed drives that are on your air handlers that do a couple things. They soft start the motors, so it doesn't have that hard startup, which protects those motors and helps them to last longer. And then also enables them to dial back to need so that you save energy as well. So it saves both maintenance and savings. 10 of them had failed, 7 of them have been replaced. We've included 3 here in this project. Okay. The controllers here at the high school are an old language. I heard somebody talking about VHS. Like I said, don't use this, but if you go back to VHS and Beta, that was a battle going on back when I was a kid, and VHS 1, and that's kind of the same thing with WAN and BACnet. They came out very similar time frames back in the 90s, and BACnet has been the one that has taken over. It's a better communication system, it's easier to use, so we'll be moving those WAN-based controllers to BACnet. And then we always have a contingency in the project too, because there's going to be some things that are going to come up that we didn't see, and that gives you an opportunity to say, do we want to do that or not? And that contingency, if you don't spend it, comes back to the district. So the total cost of this project will be $1.7 million. It's got a 13.6-year payback. Now, one of the key things about our projects, we work very hard to try to find low-cost funding for our district, for our customers. Your first project was done under the Energy Loan Fund, where we funded that whole project from the Department of Development here in the state to fund that. They changed the rules on that now, and it is now only up to $1 million. So we have $1 million coming in at 0.25%, which take inflation, and it's zero money, zero cost on that money, to pay that loan up. Now, the OFCC, which approves your House bill projects, have now come out with their own funding. They just now rolled it out, and that's going to be at 2%. So we're combining these together to fund the full project for $1.7 million. So it's a 10.5-year simple payback on this project. Total interest will be $85,000 over the 15-year term and 10-year term with 2 loans. The ELF loan has been approved. It's, Bill's talking about the 18 months that we've been working on this. We started applying for that over a year ago, and it's been a constant prod to get it. It's been approved now, so we're going to be going with that. The OFCC will be, we are number 1 on the list for them. They are waiting. The governor wants to do a little bit of a dog and pony show to say this is what we're doing, and then we'll get that approved. So we should be able to get all both of those loans in place here very quickly. Once the loans are in place, then we'll start the construction project. Real quickly, a little bit about the details on this. So these are what the new LED lights will look like. We're using existing poles. The whole electrical control, the wiring, and so forth will all be replaced under this to make sure that they're all working properly. This is an idea of what the new field scoreboard is going to look like. So it's going to give you some video capabilities as well as a good bright display for keeping score, time, and so forth. This is that BACnet controller I was talking about that are on your VAV boxes. And that's going to really give you the ability to see what's going on in the building, both for maintenance but also comfort. It's an important piece of that to keep comfort in the building. So here's a process that we've gone through. We had initial discussions about what we thought we could do. Then we came together and worked on what would make sense. What were your wants and needs? What could we put together in a package that would
pricing, figured out what the savings are gonna be, started evaluating the different financing mechanisms, pulled that all together, and now we're here today with the school board here to present the final package that the team has approved, waiting for your authorization. I know we can't vote on it tonight, it's gonna be next week, which is fine, and then once we get that, then we'll proceed with pulling all the pieces together, get the financing in place. And then we'll get once the financing is done, then we'll start implementing the projects. So that's all I have. I wanted to be brief tonight, but I want to answer any questions that you might have regarding the project. I know you guys have been ultimately very involved in several meetings.
Yeah, Pat, if you don't mind, go back to that screen that showed the second slide there with the savings. Just want to make sure everyone can see that and kind of right there. Yeah, so that's the phase one program that we did. All of those projects there, a total of 1.9 million. But I think it's important to make sure that we're clear on this, that there is a guarantee that happens with these types of programs. So the savings that we realize through these energy upgrades pay for the payment of the loan.
Yes.
So not only are we getting essentially, I think anything considered under 2% is considered like free money. We're getting essentially free money at a very low interest rate. We're then using the savings that we're realizing to pay the loan proceeds off from the total project. So you can see we've actually been running ahead a little bit. If you look at that year one results from 2022, we had measured savings at $166,000. The loan payment was $119,084. So we actually even realized some additional savings over top of covering the loan. Obviously, that gap has narrowed a little bit over time, but energy costs, as everyone knows, they don't go down. So they continue to go up. But we're still in a position where we're covering the guarantee there and making sure that the money that we're saving is covering the cost of the loan payment each year.
That's a great point, Steve. Many of these items we're talking about end of life, right? Our scoreboard for our football stadium, for our soccer stadium, is end of life. I mean, we were in the last week of the football season, and it went down, and our facility guy had to drive to Dayton to buy one of the last 2 drives for that type of board. So as a community, we are going to have to replace the board, right? We're going to have to do that. So is this a program at 0.25% interest rate? Sounds pretty good to be able to do it in that, and then realize the energy savings, right? The energy savings is greater than the loan payback. So we're going to be able to do these things. The marquee out front is another example. You've probably driven by it and seen how blurry it is. It's because those programs are end of life. Technology is moving so fast. So again, if we have to do these things, we think that this is a program that meets the needs of the community in terms of savings to outpace the loan payback.
Yeah, again, I mean, just reiterating some of Steve's points and Bill's as well. Again, end of use on a few of those items. We're also being able to take advantage of upgrading some of the other items for even more energy efficient savings. So even after the loan is paid off, we should still continue to realize those savings as well. And the other thing is we're able to do all of this and have the savings from the energy pay for the loan itself. Right. So I don't want to say free money, but it is over time free money. Yeah. So I think it's a phenomenal program. And I've had the pleasure of working with both Pat and Doug over the last 2.5 years. Very good group of people to work with. They've been very responsive, absolutely keeping us in the loop. And I think this slide here really speaks for where we are as a district and what we're trying to do here to be fiscally responsible with these projects and finding creative ways to get things done too. So.
I do want to highlight one point. Pat mentioned it. We cannot take a vote on this evening. Yeah. Part of the ORC, the Ohio Revised Code that surrounds some of these projects, when you don't go out to bid, which this project allows us to do because we're working with a consulting firm, when we don't go out to bid, we need 4 board members to vote approval of this. Because we have a couple of board members absent, we cannot take a vote. Steve and I still thought it was important that we have this presentation made so the public can understand when we call a special board meeting like we will for next Monday morning, that is what it's about, right? We're not attempting to hide anything. This presentation is out there, but we will be calling a special board meeting when we have 4 board members present to take action on this project.
This program has been in place since 1985. They've made a lot of changes over the years. But we do a lot of phase 2 and phase 3 projects because, as you can see, once you get those results from the first project, needs continue, buildings continue to age. So because of we do multiple projects with our customers, it shows that the project is working, the program works.
Yeah. How often can you take the elf loan out? Is that an annual thing or every
Yes,
5 years?
it's annual.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other advantage, I think, is that we do have a PI fund, obviously, that we use to do other facility-type upgrades. This allows us to free up some of those dollars to address other needs across the district, too. I mean, obviously, if this costs at $1.9 million, that's, essentially what we would bring in annually in our PI fund. So this would eat up 1 full year's worth of PI funds coming in. This allows us to conserve that, still get all those projects done, and not really see any cost out of pocket with the savings that we're realizing.
Yeah.
Right. Correct. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, those projects, I mean, like to Steve's point, over time, obviously, we're not gonna write a check for $1.9 million for those improvements and upgrades, but to his point, that is 1 year's annual budget for those. So, giving us the opportunity to stretch this out between 2 loans, one a 10, one a 15 year, that is a phenomenal savings for the district, and again, just a creative way to better utilize the dollars that we have coming in.
Yeah, and I think for myself, just trying to play catch up since January, looking at, just the projections and, just what we're upgrading is things that are important to like our buildings, to, just what we're doing, just really spending our dollars to what we can maximize what we're upgrading and what we need to. It's important.
It's a wise use of funds. Any other questions I could answer?
Thank you, Pat.
Good.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pat.
Get in touch.
Yep. Right, at this time, moving along, that brings us to our legislative report.
Yep, we'll review 5 bills here. Just there's going to be some repetition month to month, just to kind of watch things going. Not a whole lot's happened since last time we spoke. Still watching House Bill 715. That's would increase transparency around the Ed Choice voucher funding, including reporting on recipients and participating private schools. It's very early, so no movement to date. Senate Bill 330, it allows districts to adopt policies permitting excused mental health days for students. It's currently sitting in committee with no recent activities. Senate Bill 19, it addresses some academic intervention and student support structures. It's received multiple committee hearings and it's progressing. Senate Bill 328, it's focusing on workforce readiness and career planning initiatives. It's also moving through committees with multiple hearings. And finally, House Bill 523, it aims to strengthen the educator pipeline through financial support programs, but it's also begun committee consideration, is gaining some traction. So nothing immediate, but just keep an eye on them and see what impacts us.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity the last 2 days to go to the OASBO conference in Columbus, which is basically school treasurers, business managers, things like that. And obviously the primary topic legislative-wise was the property tax initiative, right? So a lot of conversation about that. OASBO announced tonight at one of the sessions that they are starting a new kind of a steering committee that's going to ensure that the public understands all the ramifications of property tax elimination. So I think that'll be a huge push over the next few months. You'll see more and more information coming out from the state level about what could potentially happen if there is some type of ballot initiative to remove or eliminate public property taxes from Ohio. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, and we'll continue to receive information from OASBO and OSBA, I'm sure, about that issue.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Castater, do we have any public comments this evening?
We do not.
Okay, moving along to the superintendent reports and recommendations.
Yes, I would like to block these items under letter A, personnel. This is for employment. Resignations and retirements. We don't have any supplementals or stipends. We do have a large section for contract renewals, and then we have administrative contract renewals as well. There are 2 administrative replacement contracts on there. That is just cleaning up some language that we had from some previous contracts for them. And then we have the treasurer's contract renewal as well. Item B, we have resolution for reduction in force. I want to speak to this a little bit. There are 4 members of our staff that will be what we call RIFT, reduction in force. That means that they will go on a callback list for 2 years. So when there are 2 that are custodians. When we have a custodian resign from any position, the lowest seniority person would be called first and offered that position. If they were to decline that, the next person on that list would be offered that position. If both were to decline it, then we would post that job. So we have 2 custodians, 1 food service worker, and 1 paraprofessional that are on those lists. Those do require resolutions, so we have to have those passed tonight and signed off on. And then we have 4 items under letter C, overnight field trips. As I mentioned earlier, that is all summer camp and team building opportunities for our sports teams. Please let me know if you have any questions under superintendent's reports and recommendations.
Okay. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to block letters A through C.
I'll make the motion for approval.
I second the motion.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Castater, please call the roll.
Mr. Korinik?
Here.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes. All right, motion passes. Moving along, Mr. Castater, treasurer's reports and recommendations.
Yep, as I mentioned, we've got 4 items tonight. Letters A and B are just our standard monthly reports, our investment report, and then the 2 cash summary and financial snapshot. Letter C is a rooftop unit replacement for ELDA, just a unit that's gone bad that needs to be replaced. We will be doing that through a purchasing cooperative, so we don't have to bid that project out necessarily. We're able to do state term pricing to have that replaced. And then letter D is our school fees for next year. We didn't really make many changes to the actual fee amounts. There were a couple slight adjustments, but we cleaned up a lot of language in the fee. We had old courses listed for the high school that have changed names over the years, so we've got an accurate fee document now moving forward to next year. And we always try to approve those early in the spring so parents have a heads up as to what the fees are going to be for next year. So buildings could send those out, get those posted on the website, and move forward from there. So I'd like to block letters A through D together for 1 vote.
All right, at this time, I will present letters A through D for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I second the motion.
All right, here, any discussion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Castater, please
Yep.
call the roll.
Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Korinik?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes. Motion passes. At this time, we have board committees. I do have a facilities update. Do we have any on all?
We did a finance.
Okay.
Want me to go
Yeah,
first?
yeah, go ahead,
All
sorry.
right. So we did our monthly financial report, just kind of talking about the status of all of our funds and what we're going to be doing with them. And obviously with the unknowing what's going to happen in a couple years, we're very concerned about that and ongoing discussions, talking about moving some of the general fund money into investment accounts to try to earn some more interest. I mean, we earned $11,000 just on interest last month alone. Interest rates are still pretty high, which is good and bad. But we're going to continue to reap those benefits, but still keep that money liquid if we do run into some disaster or emergency that we need to pull the money out of. So Steve's been investigating that for us. And then we did some discussions on the Vista Consulting, dove down into that to see what that looked like for the district and money out of pocket and all that stuff. So everything's good there.
Yeah, the other thing, I will have a short May financial forecast update next month at the board meeting. So with the new timelines, they don't make sense, the months that we have to give the forecast now. So we moved to that fall forecast, and then February, so I gave the full forecast presentation in February. At that point, we did not have our real estate settlement for the first half of the year. So we don't, trying to put a forecast together when you don't know exactly how much real estate and property taxes are coming in, really difficult to do. I think we told the state that we weren't going to have that in time for a February forecast update. So I'll do a brief presentation on a May forecast that will include those actual dollar amounts from property taxes. That's a huge piece of our funding. We'll also have, we receive our final income tax payment on the last day of April. So we'll have our full amount of income tax for this fiscal year that we can reflect in a forecast update as well. So we'll show that next month. It won't be a full presentation with all the assumptions and things like that. All those other assumptions will stay the same for now. We'll have actual dollar amounts for a couple items that we didn't have in February.
All right. Anything else with finance? Any questions? Okay. Moving along to facilities. Obviously, Pat kind of hit a lot of the highlights. He was present at our most recent facilities meeting early last week. We talked about that, the Vista project itself, phase 1, phase 2. Again, we discussed obviously how we are outperforming the initial savings proposed. So again, those savings are paying for the loan. I do want to reiterate that. The phase 2, obviously, he went over in brief detail tonight as far as what to expect and what projects we're looking to do over that phase 2 period. Again, went over the interest cost, both of the loans and the total budget. Again, I do want to reemphasize that we are having a special meeting early next week. We will be voting on that. Again, we needed the 4 members present in order to vote. The other things to point out from facilities, again, we do talk budgets a little bit within facilities. From a PI standpoint, we do have a fairly healthy balance moving forward, so we shouldn't have too many concerns there. Again, there's always going to be small projects that creep up. We did have to, we had the opportunity, I should say, to update the Chromebook cycles. So typically we do 1 cycle, which includes 2 grade levels. This time, due to the tariffs and some situations there, it actually made a lot more sense to go ahead and do 2 cycles, which included 4 grade levels.
Yeah,
So
that's a great example of what we mentioned with conserving PI money and still being able to do some of these other upgrades. We were, normally we would do 2 grade levels a year, July 1 PO as it rolls over into the new fiscal year. But it made sense this year to double up and actually do an early order for 2 additional grade levels. I think, Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we were seeing prices on Chromebooks increase 30 to 40% over 1 year because of, in a lot of cases, due to the tariffs.
Yeah.
So most of them are produced overseas, imported into the U.S. So we tried to get ahead of that as much as we can and not pay a higher price 3 months from now than we could get them for now. So.
Yeah.
That was, again, having that money available, keeping a healthy balance in PI, freeing up some of those dollars to do those things, gives us the opportunity to make that happen and save some money with something we're going to have to purchase anyway.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure we've done that with bus purchases as well in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another cost that has been growing exponentially. I don't know, I'd hate to see what a bus cost 10 years ago versus what it costs today. So, again, it's about smart money and using what you have wisely and trying to pre-plan a little bit. Some of the other projects we have in process currently, and again, some of these, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, we may have already completed them, I'm not sure, but we do have a press box step upgrade. We have a tile project over at the middle school. We did have to construct a new preschool area per state standards when we moved the preschool from Morgan to Elda. So again, that was a little bit of an additional cost, but again, part of the process with shuttering RIS, that move had to be made. Again, we have a tile project at Elda. I believe that is a couple classrooms that we're renovating for use. And then, let's see, we had the We've got a couple additional things as far as landscaping, and out at the center island at Elda, we have some things going on there. We have a middle school branch box replacement, as well as an open air cooler at the high school. The Elda chiller, I believe that was just finalized. A lot of you may have seen the new concrete ramp that we do now have in front of the gym at Elda. That has been completed as well, railings installed. We did also, over the course, I believe, over the last few months, we've installed electric heat at both Elda and the middle school. That was to try to supplement some of the heating concerns that we've had throughout those two buildings over the last couple of years. We also had we did have a proposal for addressing some issues with both the softball and baseball dugouts. The cost to construct new ones was a little bit outside of our price range. I mean, we're talking well over $500,000 to construct those.
To build a really nice house for what you can build that house for.
Exactly. So my primary concern is always safety and making sure that students and staff are always being thought of as far as safety concerns. So again, we were able to address a lot of those issues, rehab the facility, or dugouts, if you will, that we have now. And I believe we did those, correct me if I'm wrong, but for about $50,000, give or take.
Yeah. So we did a pretty significant amount of upgrades to baseball and softball this spring. Painting, sandblasting, cleaning, painting dugouts, repairing some mortar joints and some of those things that were causing a little bit of unevenness on the dugouts. We also did new windscreens for the outfield fences, baseball and softball, along with a lot of turf work, dirt work, things like that. So I think our facilities are in a really good spot right now. For $50,000, $60,000 we were able to spend, we got them in a good place instead of spending $600,000 or $680,000, whatever the cost of the dugouts were going to be. So eventually those dugouts, the foundations are struggling a little bit. We will have to deal with that and replace it. But for now, I think we got a lot of bang for the buck with the upgrades we were able to do. Again, that idea of freeing up money, we do have curriculum money, or PI money set aside for curriculum as well. So we are able to make large-scale purchases of certain teachers' editions of books and things like that qualify, last more than 5 years. We can do electronic subscriptions as well through PI that last longer than 5 years. So I know I've mentioned this in the forecast presentation a couple times. When we received the ESSER dollars a number of years ago, we did a lot of curriculum purchasing with that money. So we did 5 and 6 year contracts for a lot of our curriculum materials using ESSER dollars. Those are now coming to the end of life. They're expiring, right? That was 2020, it's 2026. So those things are drying up. There is no more ESSER money to renew those. So we're trying to be creative and use general fund dollars, but also for those items that qualify, be able to dip into PI for some curriculum needs. So Facilities Committee discusses that and looked at it, and we've got some placeholder numbers over the next 4 to 5 years that we can use PI money for curriculum items.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is with those facilities meetings, we try to be not just short term and look at the problems we have today, but we need to focus on the long-term actions and what we need to do. So not just 5 years from now, but 10 years from now. So yes, we replaced the stadium lighting, but again, realistically, those do have a lifespan as well. So again, we need to start that planning process now. And again, that's where Vista can also help us achieve some of those goals through that energy savings.
Yeah, you see things like the turf field. It feels like yesterday we put that in, but I'm looking at the planning sheet now, and it's we're 4 to 5 years away from having to replace that. So again, those are items that we have to have some contingency dollars in place for to be able to pull off down the road.
All right. Any other board committees that I missed? At this time, any board comments?
Nope, just thinking the Good Morning Ross Middle School. I still remember watching that on the old tube TV up top. That's still remember that as a staple when I was going through school. So it's good to see that it's still going, and appreciate the kids coming out here.
Jake, anything?
No, I think that, the one thing that I'm, really, just diving into is the Vista project. I think that, that's been really good for us. Looking at phase one and just, understanding those upgrades again, like we've talked about, is just, a step further into, making things that, better for us from an energy standpoint and just a building standpoint, just around basically everything that we have going on here at Ross.
Yeah, and again, I want to thank Good Morning Ross Middle School for coming out here. Just like Brent, we both watched it. I remember, just it's a good time for everybody. The kids enjoy it. Like I said, there's some nostalgia there. I remember a lot of that stuff, and they're still using it from when I was a kid. So that's pretty cool. And again, I will attempt to dig up that videotape. I think everybody would enjoy seeing that. Don't tell my brother I'm doing it.
We'll have to find a VCR.
They're one of the
VHS.
So, but again, thank you, Pat, for coming out tonight, spending your evening with us. At this time, I will make a motion for adjournment. Or I'm sorry, I will ask for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
Second motion.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll, Mr. Castater.
Yes, Mr. Gunther?
Yes.
Mr. Korinek?
Yes.
Mr. Beckman?
Yes. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight.
All right.
See you next month.